Good morning. Let's take a look at yesterday's green screens. Well, this was the only value I could see in the Champions League without 3-goal deficits. Was to lay Bodo Glimt to qualify at 1.29. Also laying Paris Saint-Germain at 1.1. And similar odds for Manchester City, but with that red card for Bernardo Silva, that pretty much quashed that. It was looking pretty good for City. They were dominating possession early on. Did make it 1-1, but we were up against it once we got that early red, which was a pity. But you can see the potential there. The full reward would have been pretty good had you stayed in for the final profit. Yesterday was dipping the toe in, keep your liability low. Bolton, third in the league, couldn't take advantage. What I did here, I backed Bolton at 3.9 and I laid them at 1.09, 1.06. Did the same with Monza. A win would see them in the automatic promotion places. Just not clicking last night, the late ones, but you've seen in the last week, we've had a couple of these come in and the rewards are absolutely huge, aren't they? 50 odd quid. Chesterfield and Oldham. Again, laying Oldham at 1.11. Chesterfield were giving a good account, but they had a bit of a deficit to overcome. Again, liability kept as low as possible. Tranmere and Harrogate. Harrogate bottom of the league. Tranmere's stats okay. 0-3 lead. And again, laying Harrogate at 1.06. We would have been primed had Tranmere gone and scored the next goal. Bottom of the league, 0-3 up at half-time. I would have to lay all day long. And there's the Bolton as well, laying that late draw. A few, I was a bit squeamish about the leagues, League 1 and League 2, but there were some great late opportunities yesterday. I'll just show you them. Some which passed me by. It's just whenever I get involved in League 1, League 2, it tends to go the wrong way. Untrustworthy teams. Looking at our bankers yesterday, well, Cardiff red card negated any interest in that. I wouldn't have been confident enough to side with Wickham yesterday, but they took advantage of the red card and got the reward. With these red card matches at 0-0, you could always lay the draw and hope that the 11 players score first, because the draw odds will rise markedly, because they'll be impacted further by that red card, compounded by that red. So you're going to get a really good odds swing. The other banker yesterday, Luton Town, getting the job done against Exeter. So focusing purely on the shortlisters yesterday, it just keeps your work honest and it ensures you don't overextend yourself liability-wise. The other one yesterday, Cambridge United, didn't turn up in play stats. Well worth looking at though, just in case they started brightening up. But you'll have seen 0 shots on target for the vast proportion of the match. On the watch list, certainly, and fancied late on. Salford fancied on the banker list yesterday as well and delivering. That's what I want to see from the banker list. I want to see them all winning comfortably. But I want to be there for when, for example, Exeter scores first. That kind of a thing. So I'm going to stick with the banker list and just be wary that all the other plays outside of the banker list are not going to be as confident. That was a superb result yesterday, Sporting Lisbon. Arsenal, job done. Not sure how we could have got involved in that one. Chelsea, well, the gap was just massive, wasn't it? Golfing class and a red card, as I say. Very poor stuff. Monza did lay that late one, 1.61 away favourite. You can see the importance of 3 points for Monza yesterday. That kept me interested in that. You can see that. Add an extra 2 to that. They're on 66. Don't go top with a win, but go to 66. Venezia were another one on my bankers list yesterday. So I'm going to stick with this banker list. It's what went awry on Sunday. Had I stuck with my bankers list on Sunday, we'd have had a very quiet and calming session with a number of solid candidates and a few of them producing a tradable outcome. That's the kind of thing we're looking for. Fenerbahce coming back to winning ways yesterday, if you were interested in that one. I think Gaziantepspor scored first. Not sure, but I think they might have done. No, maybe not. It was 1-1, I believe. Fenerbahce losing their unbeaten run last match against Fatih Karagümrük. So looking on to today's trading angles, are there any bankers today? This is one of those matches, Southampton and Norwich, where I cannot discount Norwich. You just can't. You show me, I'll show you the recent form, and you find a weakness between these two based on recent form. I can't find it. Norwich City cannot be discounted at all. This is all about the playoffs, particularly for Norwich. What we see with the challenge table here is a potential concern for Norwich away against the top sides. Only that single win against Wrexham. Everything else, few scoring and conceding without winning. Is that going to continue today, or is that recent form going to be overtaking that? Southampton are also in excellent recent form. When you get formed teams like this, it's very difficult to find a weakness. Look at this. It's just relentless green for both teams. Losing to Middlesbrough, no great shakes. And 1-2 against Birmingham City, but Southampton keeping sides apart from Leicester from scoring 2 goals as well. So defensively sound all of a sudden, and scoring and winning. It's a very, very difficult match for me to trade because I don't find a weakness in either side. And it wouldn't necessarily be a shock were Norwich to get a positive. On their away form, of course, you would be opposing them all day long. MK Dons against Colchester. MK Dons have been one of those reliables of late. They could enter my, well, particularly with Cambridge United, who dropping points yesterday could have been competitive. Gone to 71 points, Cambridge, with a win yesterday. MK Dons must take advantage of that. They're on a 3-match winning run, full of goals as well, full of shed loads of goals, conceding as well in the last 3, but winning. So banker material for me, that MK Dons. I think they look pretty solid. Colchester find themselves on 53 points with the entry point to the playoffs on 59. A win for them would do their season no harm at all. But MK Dons, for me, just look a lot more reliable of late. And they've got that real carrot of just moving to within 2 points of top place. They've got to keep Notts County and Salford and Swindon at bay. Those are the only 3 sides who will who will make MK Dons not get automatically promoted. Huge motivating factor for them this evening. That would be my first banker bet, I think, from readability perspective. The second one could very well be Barcelona, based solely on that home form. Newcastle's opportunity, I think, was at home, where they do score 2+ goals. Away from home, it's a one-off match. It's a draw at half-time, effectively. We can't discount Newcastle, but Barcelona at home have just been electric, absolutely electric. Bayern Munich have a 5-goal advantage against Atalanta, and again, I would say, in the to qualify market, it's a bet to nothing. There you go. That's costing you absolutely nothing to lay Bayern Munich at 1.01 in the to qualify market. Now, bear in mind this from Atalanta. This gives you a very slim outside chance that they could do something today. Let's have a look at them against another German side. We work our way to Atalanta here. Go down. 4 goals against another German side, Dortmund. So a very slim chance that Atalanta could do the job today. If they can get that 4-goal haul, that 1.01, it's got to be laid. We could see Bayern Munich complacency, highly unlikely though, but it's got to be laid at 1.01. Bayern Munich in the to qualify market, in the hope that Atalanta strike as they did against Dortmund. Don't have home advantage though. They look well up against it. Liverpool and Galatasaray. Well, if you go to soccerstats.com, click on matches, you will actually get a look at teams' Champions League form. At least that's how I found it earlier on. So this is soccerstats.com. You've got the Champions League only form, and you can see Galatasaray away from home are not good travellers. Saw what Juventus did coming back from that deficit, 5-2 down, scoring the 3 goals they needed. Galatasaray away at Man City, 2-0 loss. First half goals, 1-0 loss to Monaco. Second half, Ajax have been very poor. So I wouldn't take this as any show of strength from Galatasaray. And a 5-1 loss to Eintracht Frankfurt. So we can infer that they are very poor travellers. And that's what I'll be looking at today. Liverpool, that impressed me, that 3-0 win away at Marseille. If they can find a bit of that at home, they will be fine. 1-0 win will be a little bit tenuous. They will be seeking 2 goals today, Liverpool. 1.22 favourites. I wouldn't take that Tottenham result as any drop in form at all. And indeed, we've got Champions League goal times. And you can see 9 goals in the last half hour for Liverpool. If they do still need a goal, if it's still 0-0 or 0-1 Galatasaray, watch out. Galatasaray conceding 5 goals in the 61st to 75th minute. Not sure I'll put Liverpool up as bankers. It's only a 1-goal deficit. Galatasaray highly likely 9-man defence. Tottenham against Atletico Madrid. Yet again, the deficit is a big one. But with Richarlison equalising against Liverpool at the weekend, that for me could be a catalyst. And let's be honest, it's going to cost you absolutely nothing to lay at 1.05. The only way is up, really, isn't it? If Tottenham score the first goal and early, you're going to get a move. Everybody and his mum have said Tottenham cannot do this, but that 1-1 against Liverpool could be something. And again, we can go and have a look at these two sides. How have they got on this season in this specific competition? So let's have a look. With Tottenham at home, I was impressed with that win against Dortmund, who have franked the form with their form in the Bundesliga. Following that up with a win against Eintracht Frankfurt as well. Clean sheet wins here. But suddenly, Llorente, Antoine Griezmann, Julian Alvarez, 3-0 up after 15 minutes. All about the goalkeeper, of course, that match. So if they had the proper keeper in, this would not be as emphatic. Anything for Atletico away from home, well, they are more vulnerable. You can quite clearly see. 3 goals conceded here. 4 goals conceded here. Don't forget English opponents. Single goal. 3 goals conceded against Club Brugge. So there is a hope, because they are such heavy conceders. 2 goals against PSV. That Tottenham, if they can get anything like this, 2 first half goals, that would be absolutely superb start for them. So I would encourage you to be laying in the to qualify market at 1.05. It is extremely good value. You're getting a 90-minute play out of this. And if you get first half goals from Tottenham, you're really going to get this moving forward. Braga and Ferencvaros. It's a 0-2 lead for Ferencvaros in the first leg. The market is siding with the Portuguese Braga. I'll have to give it a watching brief because that Ferencvaros lead in the first leg was a bit of a surprise. So it might not be a fully wound up Braga. The in-play stats will reveal all. They must score first and they must score second. Italian Serie B will get a look in today. Frosinone will enter my banker material. So do note the bankers. There's only going to be a small handful of them. If you really wanted to ensure quality over quantity, then I would recommend going down that route. Frosinone with a win enter the 60-point club today. Vitally important that they take advantage of an out-of-form Bari. But a win for Bari will take them out of the relegation zone. So certainly that's a match of interest. Certainly that draw layable late on. Avellino and Südtirol is a promotion playoff 6-pointer with Cesena on 40 points. These two need 3 points. Got to take points off your nearest rival as well. But 2.55, the favourite, tells you it's a very tough one to trust and research. In-play stats will be crucial. Possible lay of the late draw. But do as we did yesterday with Bolton and Monza. Don't lay that draw at the beginning of the second half. I want to get low liabilities. I don't want to be hit in these lower leagues. Carrarese and Sampdoria. Well, Sampdoria and Carrarese is a relegation 6-pointer. So it's not a banker, but it's certainly a match to keep an eye on. The winner could change their season. Pescara and Entella. Well, Entella are in the last place. Pescara are bottom and favourite. Still not out of it, Pescara. But this is a vital must-win. Takes them to 29 points within one of that 30-point club, which is where you'll be exiting the bottom 5. Got to beat Entella today, because if they do, they're within 2 points of Entella. But if Entella win, they're up to 34. Pescara are going to be stuck. Pescara putting together a win-draw of late, so they cannot be discounted. That's why they're favourite, despite being bottom. Not a banker bet, but a watch list bet, that's for sure. Trabzonspor have caught my eye in Turkey of late as well, playing the Turkish Yorkshireman, Ayopspor, managed by Nora Batty and Jeffrey Boycott and the Tetley Teabag lads and the Hovis bike bloke. Fantastic side, Ayopspor, fantastic. Aye, great, super smashing, lovely, fantastic. Trabzonspor have been in a good bit of form of late. I would be keeping a keen eye on that at 5 o'clock. So just to remind you, the bankers today, the ones more readable in my eyes, MK Dons, Barcelona, Frosinone, although be careful, Bari, desperate need for points. Not bankers, but matches with a good story. Pescara, bottom of the league and favourite, win-draw of late, must take points off Entella. Fascinating match to look for. Carrarese and Sampdoria, promotion, playoff, 6-pointer. 2.5 the favourite though, just warns you. It could be a tough one. And just a cursory glance at 5 o'clock on Trabzonspor against Ayopspor. Let's have a look at Trab. They should be heading towards the top, yeah. A win today for Trab takes them on 60 points. They've got a real chance at the title today, or this season. 4 consecutive wins is what's caught my eye recently. They've just stuck in the memory bank. Ayopspor, Turkish Yorkshireman. Nora Batty will not be happy with 2 consecutive defeats. You get the old roller pin out. 2-1-0 defeats. But a win today to take them out of the relegation zone. They don't seem to have it in them. Newly promoted as well. Could be vulnerable. So I'll be starting from that Trabzonspor match at 5 p.m. I think it's got some real good story to it. And I'll be with you, members, from 5:45 for the early kickoffs and 7:45 for the others. Do bear in mind, if I venture outside of the banker bets, it's going to be more vulnerable to losing our liability. So MK Dons, Barcelona, Frosinone are the big boys. See you a bit later on Telegram.